Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Just a quick introduction before the video starts. I took the winter off and I'm a little bit out of shape and my form and timing is not the best right now. So the footage I got of me throwing is not the greatest, but I had some few shots, but I'm not very consistent right now. So I'm gonna be working on my form as well as just trying to get some strength and conditioning back. So I'll bring you guys along with the journey. I probably won't show too much of me practicing and doing drills and stuff like that unless you guys are kind of interested in seeing that. But let's go ahead and get started with the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace. Hey guys, how's it going? This is going to be my in the bag for 2024, as well as a little bit of an introduction to my channel. This is my buddy Todd. Jake's down here. He's a little more skittish and doesn't really like to be held too much, but this little guy does. So thought you want to see the mascot of the channel. So in this video, I'm gonna have my in the bag as well as some throws out in the field to kind of show how the discs fly for me. I'm like intermediate to advanced level player. I've played for over 10 years and I'm also from Charlotte, North Carolina, so I play a lot of woods golf. So you'll find that I don't really throw too many distance drivers, and I throw a lot of more stable to understable neutral flying discs that work well in the woods. But we'll start out with the putters. It's going to be the Firefly. With the Fireflies, I putt with the Alpacas and the P2s as well, but I just really enjoy the plastic that the Firefly has to offer. But if you're ever curious, the P2, the Alpaca, and the Firefly are pretty much the same disc molds, so you can always pick any of those up if you want to try different plastics. Next is going to be another P2 style mold. It's the Sky God 4. This one is very stable with a decent amount of fade, not a lot of glide. I like to use this one for approach shots, especially in the wind. So the Sky God 4. And then we have a Glitch. I really like to throw the Glitch for really long jump putts or up shots from 120 to 150 feet that I just want to point and shoot and land at the basket. It's very hard to get this thing to go too far past the basket, even though it has 7 glide. So I really enjoy this one. Next mold will be the Proxy. So first off, we have the Fission Proxy. This is the special edition Music City Open from 2023. Simon Lizotte champion. It's pretty cool because just on last Sunday, a couple days ago, he won the 2024 Music City Open. So hopefully we'll get another Proxy special edition. I can add it to the bag. Next is just a Eclipse Proxy. This one is just for more stability. The Fission is fairly beat in, very straight. I can throw it flat with a lot of power and get it to turn over a little bit if I need to. So this one is mainly just to complement that for more stability. And then we have the Toro. This is my go-to sidearm approach shot. I also use it for backhands, but mainly for sidearms. This one's in Champion plastic. Very stable, not extremely overstable, but stable enough to rely on it, especially for approaches. Then I picked up a KC Pro Toro recently. This one I'm just expecting to beat it in and season it enough to get it to fly straight and not as much fade as a normal Toro, and just kind of be able to use it for touchy approach shots with the forehand. So next we'll move on to the mid-ranges. So with the mid-ranges, we'll start out with the MVP uplink. This is my understable slot in the 5-speed category. It's not too understable, but it is understable enough to rely on to always go right when I need it. I don't really use it too much, but always got to have a understable mid-range in the bag, especially in the woods. So next is going to be the Mind Bender. This disc is probably my favorite mid-range. I rely on it a lot, especially in the woods. It just goes, pretty much where you need it, point and shoot. Doesn't have a lot of distance per se, but it has a lot of glide and just likes to land straight and flat. And then next in the lineup, we have the Hex. The Hex is more of a stable mid-range per se than the MD1 Mindbender. This one I like to use for straighter shots. It goes a little bit farther than the Mindbender, and it has just a little bit more fade, so I can rely on it to go straight but not turn over too much and have a nice, somewhat reliable fade at the end. And then to complement the Hex, I have the Reactor. The MVP Reactor, I would say it is definitely an underused disc for most people. They don't really talk about it, but the Reactor, it complements the Hex very much, which is one of the most popular discs right now. But the Reactor just has a little bit more stability and a little bit more fade, but just as much glide. Sometimes I feel like I can get it to go farther than the Reactor. Or sorry, farther than the Hex. So there's that, and I like to rely on that one in the wind for most mid-range shots when it comes to that, besides the Hex or the Mindbender. And then finally we have the Pyro. The Pyro is a very good utility overstable slot. This one, absolutely love. I can throw it backhand and forehand, which usually isn't the case for most of my discs. But yeah, the Pyro, very workable overstable mid-range. So if you've tried like the Gator or the Quake and you don't really vibe with that, you might want to try the Pyro. Sorry about that if you can hear my neighbor's dog in the background going a little crazy. All right, and next we'll move on to the fairway slot. So for this is going to be my favorite mold, the Axiom Crave. This is the first one that I ever picked up. It's very well seasoned, pretty old. I can pretty much rely on this for hyzer flip to straight, hyzer flip to slight turnover, flat to turnover shots, you name it. I love this thing in the woods. It's usually my go-to when I need to shape some weird shots. And then next is going to be the new Eclipse Crave. Usually I was throwing Neutron Craves, but I tried this one out and it actually has a touch of stability, which is pretty cool because I have a blank Eclipse Crave that is actually pretty neutral to understable right out of the box, which was surprising to me. But this one is not overstable at all. It's just straight and stable. From what I've thrown, I've been able to rely on this one quite a bit. And then finally we have the Cosmic Neutron Crave. This one just complements the other two Craves in stability. The plastic Cosmic Neutron just generally is more stable than other plastics that MVP and Axiom delivers. So this one, it's not too seasoned yet, but I'm probably gonna start looking to get a new one. And then finally in the 7-speed we have the T-Bird. The T-Bird is just a very good overall, fairway driver. It doesn't turn over when I need to really pump one out there. Just goes straight, has a decent amount of glide, a good amount of fade, and is very accurate. And now we'll move on to my favorite speed, which is going to be the 9 speeds. Sorry guys, this allergies are getting to me. But we'll go ahead and start with my favorite mold, which is going to be the Insanity. So the Axiom Insanity, this one's in fission plastic. just like my first crave that I got, this is the first Fission Insanity that I got. And it's well seasoned, and I can pretty much do just what I want with it, like the crave, but it goes much farther. 9 speed is like my sweet spot. I don't have like a ton of arm speed. I throw generally 400 to a little over 400 on a really good throw. So I don't really need distance drivers that much. The 9 speed, I can get it up to the speed that it needs to get, and it can do amazing things for me. And then next is going to be a newer Fission Insanity. This one is just another bomber. Goes straight. I can hit it hard, flat, and it turns over and then slightly comes back. The good thing about Insanities, the Fission per se, is they don't have a lot of fade, so you can really get a lot of distance and not have to worry about it going off to the left or right, which is really good in the woods, of course, especially in Charlotte. Next is going to be the Eclipse Insanity. If you know anything about the Eclipse Insanity, you know it flies nothing like the Fission or any other plastic Insanities. This one's very stable. I've had it for quite a while. I use it for forehand rollers as well as backhands. Not so much forehands, but it's in the perfect spot right now where it's nice and stable, and I can really rely on it and pump it hard and not have to worry about it turning over at all. So I guess you could say it's in like maybe a Thunderbird slot right now. So really, really nice. So next we'll move on to the mainly forehand discs. We'll start out with the Big Germ Thunderbird 2017. Absolutely love this thing. Right now, you know, it's pretty old, so it flies more similar to a Sidewinder, I would say. But I don't really throw this one too much, but I always have to bring it out when I know I'm not going to lose it, because obviously with this color it can be very difficult to find sometimes. Next will be the Champion Sidewinder. I throw this one a lot on forehands, especially S curve shots, and you know, big turnover shots where I'm not having to put it on a lot of angle. I can kind of just put on a little bit of angle and let it ride over. Really good in the woods. I can pop it on a hyzer and it flips up and just rides straight, maybe just a little bit of turn. And with the Champion plastic, it has a little bit of fade at the end and some nice skippage. So next is going to be the April Fool's Sexton Firebird. This one, just like any other Sexton Firebird, it is very straight with a decent amount of fade. I can, put it on some angle and it just holds the angle enough, flattens out, maybe fades at the end. Very good for very straight shots with a little bit of fade at the end. And then to complement that Firebird, I have a Fireball. I just like the stability of the Fireball. Very, very good utility disc. You can put it on an angle and it's going to fight out of it pretty much no matter what. This one's brand new, so it's gonna slowly get beat in a little bit and become more of a Firebird disc to complement the Sexton Firebird. All right, and then finally we have the distance drivers. Not too many of them, like I said. Only a few molds. The first one's the Star Mamba. This one doesn't see a lot of action really. But if there's like a wide open shot, not a lot of wind, I can just, blast one out there. I'll give the Mamba a shot. It can be a fun disc, so I always keep it in the bag. Next is going to be the Wraith. So the Wraith is my #1 distance driver mold. I highly recommend it to anyone that is around 400 feet of distance. With my arm speed, this is a perfect distance driver for me. Like I said, I don't really throw them too much, but this is a nice, well-seasoned Star Wraith. Always had this thing in the bag. I throw forehand and backhand with the Wraith. And this one, I can just absolutely pump it out there, and it's just a bomber. And then next Wraith is going to be a Halo Star Wraith. This one's really nice. It's nice and has a decent flat profile. I really like it on forehand, but I do throw it on backhand. It's more on the neutral, stable stability of Wraiths. So I really like this one. I can usually use it in the wind. but it's very good for very long forehands for me. Then we have the Garrett Girthy Wraith. This one has a decent amount of dome, a little bit of pop top to it. It's not extremely stable, but it is stable enough to resist wind. So I really bust this one out either in a headwind, or if it's crosswind or something windy. Has a little bit more fade than my other Wraiths. So this is definitely the go-to on those big hyzer shots or windy shots. All right, and then finally we have the Star Destroyer and Halo Star Plastic. Sorry, this one don't really throw it a lot. Don't have the arm speed for a destroyer, to be honest. So I just don't need to. But this one is a wind fighter, a skip shot master. I mean, it's a lot of fun to use when I need to, but can't really get too much distance from it. So there's really no need for it. So. And then finally we just have a couple. We get in the side pocket, we have the Rolo, just a fun utility disc. We'll bust that out every now and then just a water disc. Right now it's the Volt. Usually I just pick any 7 to 9 speed stable driver that I don't care about, and I'll throw it over the water. So but that's going to be about it for my in the bag. I'll have some more information up on the screen if I forgot to mention anything. But other than that, if you like the video, you've heard every other YouTuber in the world say this, but go ahead and give it a like. But if you want to see more content, feel free to subscribe. Hopefully everybody enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Peace.